Hey guys, really excited to dive into this episode. I'm actually not replicating a dribble design in this one. What I wanted to do is actually go off the last video I created, which was this one. I replicated this dribble design last week, and what I've decided to do in this episode is actually mess around with some animations. So if you look, you're going to be able to, little sneak peek there. You're going to be able to click this on and off, right? Nice little on and off animation. And what you're also going to be able to do is drag and bump that out, bring it back in. So this is a pretty short, I don't say like very short, but shorter episode. But, you guys get to, start playing around some animations in SwiftUI. So really excited to dive into this guy. Hope you enjoy it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you do and don't like. But I do have a special message at the end with some new content I'm going to be creating, but essentially I'm just going to be building my own app and doing a lot of live streams with it. Obviously there might be some days I get a lot of work done, some days I don't, but just to show you how I'm learning and how I'm going through the process of learning and iterating and fixing bugs. So I think that might be a good idea. And maybe you guys can help me. So really excited to dive into that, but let's get into this episode and show you guys how to make these really cool animations. I'll see you in there. So what's going on, everyone? Really excited to dive into this guy, this episode. So as you guys know, we already created this design in SwiftUI in my latest episode. So go ahead and I'll add that link to the bio, but I'll also add that to a clickable link at the end of this video. But very easy design. I love the neophorism design, however you freaking say it. I know not a lot of people love it, but I do. And I thought this would be a really cool design to kind of work with animations, right? So with that being said, we're going to add this cool little on-off animation. And this is an on-tap gesture is what they call it. And then we're also going to work with dragging. So I'm just going to bump that out of here. And if I want to bring it back, I can bring it back. And if you notice that you see how the frame kind of enlarges a little when you drag, and then when you come back, it shrinks. So I'm going to be referencing Light Switch 2 a lot, just because that's where I added all the code to add this animation. But we're definitely going to go and dive right into it. I'm going to zoom in a little. So to start, I'm going to get rid of this spacer here. All right. To start, we want to add a on-tab gesture to this button here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I'm going to go here. I'm going to reference what I already used. So switch, let's call it switch, and it's going to be false. So we're going to use @state var switch is equal to false. Okay, so we got that down, right? Got that down, right? And then what we have to do now is we have to switch. Yep, bull. Okay. We have to link these down here to the items we're using it in, right? That we gotta link the state to these components that we've created on this page, right? So switch is a bull, okay? And let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. And then, yeah, so we're good there. So what we'll do, it's gonna complain about this, and all you need to do is just add a hashtag $. Alrighty. So now what we can do is start animating this. We can start animating this whole thing here. So what we're gonna do is go to Light Switch 2, and I'm just gonna look at the on. So this is what we're going to add, the on-tap gesture, and I'll explain this in a second. But let me just go ahead and add that to this on-tap gesture. Gesture, and we're going to do, I believe, with animation. And I'm a huge fan of the spring. And then we're gonna do show. No, it's hold on. Just got a reference. This is new for me too. related to how we set this up. The old Swift was different. Toggle, get rid of this. All right, so now we have this on. So pretty much what we've pretty much done here is this. So we have this V stack, right? This V stack is right here. And what we're doing is we're adding an on-tab gesture to the parent V stack, which is this right here. And there's a, my fault, this parent V stack is this white button behind this circle here. Yeah, so what we can do now is really mess with this, right? So first and foremost, what we're gonna do is gonna come in here and we're gonna call switch. Then we're gonna add the color lit again, add parentheses. And so pretty much how SwiftUI works with animation and through state is you say, okay, when I click this, what's gonna happen? You always start with the question mark. So this is gonna be the color it changes to. But when this isn't clicked, or when I turn this state off, what's the color it's supposed to go to, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to add a dot opacity and make this 0. So if I click this, we're messing with the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Get rid of this. We're actually going to go to this background here. And there we go. Call this color lit. And there we go. And, you know, if we opacity, let's do 0. So when I click this, 0, right? Now this might, you know, what about these shadows, right? And what if I want to change this button to red? Well, no worries at all. We can do the same thing, right? So this is going to be switch, color lit. And what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to change this to red. And on top of that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually hide these shadows. And I can literally do that just by doing a switch here and 0. And then I'm actually going to, sorry, I hit the mic. I'm actually just going to do the same thing here, but it's going to be, instead of 0.15, we want that white shadow to always to be 100%, right? We don't want it 15%, right? So what we've done here is, look, when we click switch, this shadow is going to be 0. And if it's not clicked, or when we unclick it, it's going to go back to 15%. Same thing with this white shadow, goes to 0. When we unclick it, it goes to 1. Also, this button right here turns red, and this background gets hidden. So if we click that, that's exactly what happens. Perfect. So what we also have to do is now add a dot offset y. Let's make it 50. So that's pretty much exactly where we want it to go. And all we need to do is this, 0. All right, so now look. Woo! Look at that animation, right? So now we want to change, now we want to move that text, right? Not a problem at all. And we want to change it. We want to change what the text says. So what we'll do is we'll just do this, off, okay? And we'll also add a dot offset of y switch. It's going to be, let's do -50, other 0. And we're actually going to add a dot animation spring here. Just because if we don't, it's going to get a little, it's not as fluent, I guess you should say, without this animation element. So you're gonna see, so you see how it naturally, I mean, that looks pretty nice, guys. What do you guys think? I mean, just like that. And you know, I'm gonna change this background too. Kind of want to change this background. Switch. Let's make this color. Let's just copy this and this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make this a red. And that means that we actually should keep this white. So let's see. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. But let's try and get, let's see what an opacity does of 20. 50? Yeah, I kind of like this better. Ooh. And maybe, you know what? Maybe this will look nice. So let me just do this real quick. Switch color lit, and let's make this like a hard red here. Double click this, make this like a dark red. Ooh, I like that. So let's definitely keep that. Perfect. All right, now let's get into the drag gesture, right? So this is where things get a little difficult, but it's okay. We're gonna work through them. So I'm gonna do state var view state equals cg size dot 0, and then I'm gonna do state var is dragged equals false. All right, so we just to start, we're definitely gonna want to link these already to the bottom stuff. So I'm just gonna copy this, and the last, yeah, okay. So if we go here, so we have these states, but we still have to link them to the light button and the plus button because that's what we're gonna be iterating. So I'm just gonna come down here and do the app binding. Except this is gonna be view state, and this is gonna be it's gonna be, whoops, copied the wrong thing. It's gonna be where it is dragging. Sorry, is dragging bowl is dragging. Okay, cool. So we have everything linked. I'm gonna do one more thing. Okay, gonna link it down here for the plus button, which is this. And then resume here. Build failed. All right, because we have to call these guys. So what's it missing? This guy is missing. Is dragging. Is drag. Oh, is dragged. Wait. Is no. This definitely has to be is dragging. I messed up here. Dragging. There we go. And then same thing. So this is gonna be view state. Yeah. Let's try again. Build failed. You are wanting. We're just gonna copy this. Copy. Should work now. Is dragging bowl. That's there. Missing view state, sorry, and I believe this is gonna be view state. All right, so we have all light buttons linked, right? Everything for the light button, everything plus button. So now we can kind of start animating here, and so we have the on tap gesture, and I'm gonna actually, let's see, why is that error still? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna start working with. Let me just go down here and. Yep, perfect. Okay, is dragging. Okay. All right. So I'm actually gonna. So I'm gonna copy this code. I'm gonna explain it. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna copy from here and I'm gonna explain. Okay, so come in here, paste this code here. This is gonna be view state, and this is gonna be view state, and get rid of this. I just added 2 because I had to duplicate them. All right, so what this is pretty much saying is this. First of all, we're adding this dot gesture. I know this is getting kind of long, but this VStack right here is controlling this whole thing right here, okay? And then, yeah. And then what we're doing, so this H stack, this H stack right here is controlling this whole button, right? So we're adding a dot gesture, and it's going to be a drag gesture, and we're saying on changed. So we'll actually embed this like this, on changed. And so it means once we start dragging, self.viewState, so this guy right here, it's a CG size.0, which means that when we start dragging, it's going to start reading the points on the phone. So if I start dragging like this, it's going to start reading like, hey, this is like 50 pixels on the x-axis. This is 100, 150, 200, and so forth, right? So it's going to start reading that, and we're saying, turn it into a translation. And what I'm saying here is, if self view state, so the view state, if the width is more than 10, right, then do something. Self is dragging, so is dragging is true, which means this state right here becomes true. If it's below 10, right, then that means is dragging is false. And we just have a self default of 0 here, right? So then we have to, in order for us to get these values, you have to add a dot offset to this H stack here, so that we can start reading the values. And we're reading the values for view state because view state is getting the CG size. Okay, so hope that makes sense, but this is crucial. So now what do we do, right? Okay, well, we're gonna start adding is dragging is 250, right? So we got that. And we're gonna come down here, and is dragging's linked, and we're gonna add a let's add a dot offset, and let's do x is dragging, and let's do 50, if not 0. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is head on back to light switch 2. Let's just make sure. Oh, add an animation. Oh, it's 200. I was close. 200 right here. No, it wasn't even close. So what this is pretty much, and I'm adding a spring. So what this is pretty much doing is, okay, when we drag and it gets above 10, what we want this to do is we want the is dragging is going to be false. I mean true. So once we go above 10, it's going to be true, and what it's going to do is it's going to kick this guy off. Okay, and then when I bring it past minus 10 here, it's going to bring it back, right? So we're going to see what we have so far. Boom. 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 So honestly, guys, I mean that's really it. I mean, it wasn't that much code. Took a little learning curve here, but if we were to go back to our content view, and we now have, let's not call light switch 2, let's call light switch. We can now just bump that guy. But you see how there's a little, how it expands a little, right? So here's how you fix that. So we go to light switch 2 here, and what we're gonna do is grab this spacer, grab this frame right here, okay? And if you do that, okay, this should work. It's gonna take a little here. Oh, it's dragging, sorry. Whoops. Perfect. Go back to content view. There you go. So the reason why that bump was happening was because that spacer, when you do this, actually expands pretty big because there's a space pretty wide because there's a spacer in our original design right here, just to space out the elements to the outside edges as much as possible, right? But when you add this, when you add that little space, that frame to that spacer, when you add this frame right here, we're saying, okay, so when is dragging is true, that spacer becomes 0. But when it's false, we want it to be 10 because we still need that spacing. We don't want it right up against each other, right? So since we've added that, it allows you, we have our sweet animation here. Can drag that, bring it back, and we still have that nice little watch just kind of close. See that? Kind of comes in together. But yeah, if you guys want me to add more animation to this design, let me know. I just thought this would be a cool, quick video, dive into states and drag animations, drag gestures. But that's pretty much it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys hate or dislike or love that I'm doing. But I'm trying to organize this code for you guys, and I will continue to do that. Also, heads up, I'm going to go through the process of creating my own app. And through that process, I'm going to be doing a bunch of live shows on YouTube, maybe even Twitch, and it's going to be a lot of me learning, right? So, I haven't published an app on my own yet, but I'm going to go through the process of just learning and fixing errors, and there's going to be some times when these episodes, there might not be a lot of stuff that gets done, but I just want to start showing you guys the ins and outs of how I work and how I'm learning, so I can maybe inspire you to dive into SwiftUI and learn yourself. So, be on the lookout for that. Like I said, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you guys think. But I'll see you guys in the next episode.